Alright, let me get something to drink. Okay, so this is what we're dealing with. Let's see. Oh goodness. I'm really trying to not discuss something that I've discussed before. I'm trying to make this new information for you. So, let me move in your view. See? It's much better. Now, this message is all for you Christians that tell me to not be selfish. You all need to keep your business to yourself, bitches. Okay? Because all you bitches that tell people not to be selfish, you are actually projecting your psychology onto other people, and you are the one who feels guilty and does not know how to change their selfishness. And I am going to discuss that with you as a subject. I'm trying to close off this whatever. Now, the whole exchange of money is a very mysterious topic. And we just do not know why money necessarily goes through people's hands versus not going through other people's hands. People assuming that they are more godly than other people and not knowing why other people are more rich when they are more dark and not very loving and things like that. Why do people have to suffer when it comes to their money system? Well, a lot of it is because of our perception, but also quite a bit of this is the powers that be and one sweet destiny and one sweet fate. Now, there are many gods in the world. Many, many gods in the world. And there are other gods in the world. And these are, of course, donated to some Asian organizations. So let me get my gold chain straightened out so you think that I am better than you because I have nice gold. That's basically the culture. Having gods, whether it be Buddha, Hindu, Muhammad, what have you, or our own beauty, or our own money, or our own selfishness and be able to get what we want. And then when we arrive there, then we act like money is really not an issue, and you don't know why people are so greedy and people are so desperate for money, because you actually already made it. And so your psyche splits, and you automatically think that people are below you, you're really not as corrupt and as bad as you really were in order to get your money. And so what you do is you self-sabotage and you're self-deceptive of your own money hard-ons. Okay, you only go where you are going to be marrying up. You never go where you have to marry down. Everybody is always looking for the social stratification because of the haves and have-nots, and people will lie about it. And if it means give money to a church in their envelope, you can forget it. And also, whatever Catholic, whatever renewal center they have, and they're hitting you up for $280 for registration for some Southern California Catholic charities type of convention slash community. And, you know, let's just say that you're not as fabulous as Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, Janet Jackson, Gladys Knight, Diana Ross, Etta James, Lena Horne, Eartha Kitt, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday, Sade, Renee Fleming, because you are not black. So you have a culture that says you are worth not very much because you do not have a certain color of skin, or you are not voting a certain candidate, and we are voting for a certain candidate, and we live in Newport Beach, and we have a lot of money. That's basically California culture. Not very impressed. So if all you people in Idaho think that us people out here in California are psycho, got news for you. You're correct. We are at a crossroads right now where it needs to be post-LGBT. People are tired of talking about LGBT this and LGBT that. LGBT stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or Q, LGBTQ, Q for questioning, not queer. Some people think it's LGBTQ, Q for queer. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender alone, LGBT, as acronyms are all queer under the queer theory of a queer nation. Do research on this. You get degrees on queer theory and get minors on queer theory, whatever, at San Francisco State University, blah, blah, blah. If you're a redneck or even from some really, you know what, you don't know everything, all right? So LGBTQ stands for questioning, and heterosexual women do not want to agree because their husbands are questioning, and their husbands are interested in seeing what's on the other side of rich fag America. That's just the way it goes. Don't make me guilty for it because I like guys, okay? It's something that's been working itself out through ages to ages. I am not the only gay militant activist that came from out of San Luis Obispo where Fred Astaire's family used to settle, blah, 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 blah. Long story. I used to perform very often at Linnaeus Cafe on Garden Street. I lived right around the corner on top of Hans Gallery, downtown, Slowtown. And Harrison Ford would show up and go and drink coffee and stuff like that. Okay, I used to be dining all the time at a place where John Wayne used to hang out at San Luis Obispo with the Madonna family, okay? And Dolly Parton would be coming in throughout the months for several years, okay? So, you know, I used to live in the same neighborhood as Gene Kelly in Morro Bay. So I used to perform at a place where Joan Crawford, Mommy Dearest, and Clark Gable had performed. And I also was involved with some property ownership in Pismo Beach that segued into me doing business with Pismo Beach Hotel, whatever, downtown, where Ms. Crawford and Mr. Gable had actually stayed. And that's Pismo Beach. My property sold for $7 to $8 million once it switched over, but I used to have a little B&B. This is before our B&B came in, and I changed the Shangri-La into Pismo Coast Inn, and blah, 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 blah. So you're introducing yourself to the world of Tyler and Hamilton. Welcome if you don't know who I am. You are at Social Alchemy Project Access Management. Join the mental illness, social justice film crew that I've created, and creative comedy and drama team for building futures of homosexual men in search of fame and fortune. You were saying that is post-LGBTQ, okay, post-Donald J. Trump. Let's just think fast forward. Let's say it's past 2020 and it's post-Gay Straight Alliance. It's post whether abortion's right or wrong. We're just like in the future as visionary futurists, forward thinkers. I told all my fat women friends this from high school that I'm getting ready to become rich and famous. I'm not already. To put in dentures, I could barely speak. And they all shun me because they think they're making better money than me because they're into real estate and some other family business that they have going on. And they have this exclusivity because they are overweight straight women that had a crush on me in high school, and I never got an erection, and I never went for breeders, and I never got them pregnant so they can get welfare and take me to court and make me work half of my days, and all money is given to my kids and my wife because they divorced me. Why would I pursue a woman if that's the women's reputation? That has been the onslaught of why there has even been a men's movement. It's bitterness that men have toward arrogant feminist women that dragged them in to jail, got custody over the kids, the mothers, the wives. The husbands lost everything, the house, the car, you know the drill. the women did not fall through the criminal justice system, and the men actually got screwed and fell through the criminal justice system. So in a Me Too movement of men that are against domestic violence to help women and rape and things like that, it's also the Me Too movement of men that have been abused by other women. So those men are in their own isolated, select social population of discriminated and maybe tortured souls because their wives will not let them even pursue their own bi-curiosity. That's why straight women want to say LGBTQ, Q for queer. It's LGBTQ, Q for questioning. And first off, LGBTQ, Q for questioning is a soft hit. It's easy to go around saying, oh, I know somebody in LGBT. Oh, my colleague at work is LGBT. Oh, my brother or sister is part of the LGBT community. Oh, blah, 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 blah. LGBT this, LGBT that. But nobody ever wants to say, I stand up for building the futures of homosexual men. Men that are allowing themselves to love their homosexuality and make friends with themselves. I'm not saying make friends with the demon or the dark side. If that's the case, then go for it. But when I say homosexuality, it's not homosexuality of the demon. Homosexuality of the dark side. There's nothing wrong with homosexuality. In Leviticus, when God, apparently, according to the Bible, a book inspired by God, which was really inspired by men writing what they said God wanted them to write. So was it really inspired by God? That's a big question. Not that there's not truth in there, but everything could have a little fiction and nonfiction. You never know. With a lot of truth, but a little bit of poison could screw people over. We know this. So in Leviticus, homosexuality for a period was forbidden because God needed to create a larger Hebrew race to what? Create a religious war. Once that happened, homosexuality became permissible again. So there's never anything about gay men being hated by God because gay men love other men. In the New Testament, the Church of Corinth, when Apostle Paul was forbidding homosexuality, he was talking to what was happening even among Greek and Roman philosophers, where they would take the young boys under their wing, mold them through social philosophy, prepare them for their psychological masculinity to go out and marry a woman and have a family and kids of their own. This is what they did in early ancient times with philosophers. In the early Christian church, they were pimping out young boys, the older men were. So when Apostle Paul said that, he was talking to the pedophilia. So, let's take another look at you as a culture hating men who are out of the closet about their affections, feelings, and interests in rolling in the hay with other men. A lot of psychologists are writing on this, that everybody is slightly mentally ill. And if you look at the early alternative media that came out, some of it is called participatory observant social media or open source social media commons, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, what have you, LinkedIn. All started with MySpace. Remember MySpace? Anyways, so with the changes of civilization because of technology, whether it be medical or whether it be what you find online to educate yourself, the globalization of democracy and the globalization of homosexuality and gender politics and sex politics are in the forefront of people even like Donald J. Trump and evangelical Christians that support Donald J. Trump after he says he grabs female pussies because he's a celebrity and can get away with it, and it's okay for him to hire prostitutes. Somehow evangelical Christians are to be afraid of him because he's saying now if he doesn't win the November election, there's going to be violence. And he's warning everybody. So he's making people afraid of their fate and their sweet destiny. Jesus Christ, people, does not work that way. Jesus Christ was not a multi-billionaire, but Jesus Christ was a winner. Jesus Christ did not have to promote himself. Jesus Christ was the Son of God. Jesus Christ was pretty cool. So in the social justice filming that we're doing at Social Alchemy Project, we are gaining students' attentions from New York Film Academy in Los Angeles for a largest Los Angeles city student body. It's interesting in my mouth. I can barely speak. producer, directors, and literary writers, playwrights, screenplay writers, screenwriters, what have you, in the guild, not in the guild, interested in being in the guild, I don't know, you go to the academy or you don't, just look us up. We are creating a documenting of world's entertainment history, chronicles, memoirs, and those living legends that are gay actors. And changing the oligarchs, or oligarchies, what have you, and having a masculinist theorem and a social research on a millennial men's movement is really important because of the global diplomatic affairs, public and social policy enactments of justice studies and civilian group lobby work. These are areas that are very intriguing for people today, because if somebody grabbing pussy can become a president of the United States, entering office with 100 lawsuits behind his name, and then he morphs into 4,300 lawsuits against his name, black people can become president, women can become president, and especially LGBT or the homosexual man. In this case, it's about promoting the homosexual man. So, Gay and Lesbian Alliance in San Luis Obispo County up north where Fred Astaire used to settle in. His family settled in. I used to be a mascot for a number of years there. Did things as dignitarian and mayor and unveiling the trolley and parades and Thursday night farmers markets and things like that. The Gay and Lesbian Alliance in San Luis Obispo is thinking about changing their name to a more all-inclusive name, not Gay and Lesbian Alliance, because they say Gay and Lesbian Alliance is not all-inclusive, but Caitlyn Jenner at her transgender Caitlyn Jenner Foundation out in Malibu says that it's the gay man who has fought so hard for LGBT. And in this case, the girly boy, the sissy, the twink, the everybody that's represented among Gay Straight Alliance or what have you. It's the gay man. And so as Social Alchemy Project Access Management, it's politically correct to go around saying LGBT this, LGBT that, but it's not politically correct to say a homosexual man is mentally ill. You have tons of activists that are very angry about that. Some want to be civilian group lobbyists. Some gay militant activists, what have you. And so the whole thing is that in the International Institute of Psychological Acting I use in social justice studies from a social science perspective, coming from out of Beverly Hills, we can run all ads for students that are seeking acting workshops, that want to get dirt cheap, low prices on finding out who they are in their own alchemy, becoming their own alchemists, and that's where Social Alchemy Project has a project. The National Academy of Acting and Filmmaking workshops, mental illness, social justice film projects, what have you, with some compensation and benefits, no, nothing sexually, submission to some independent film festivals like Sundance at Robert Redford's Festival, actors, directors, film producers, distributors. There is a celebration that we have to offer the gay man, the homosexual man. We can say LGBT this, LGBT that, gay this, gay that. But people are still scared of the word sex. So we want to focus on the word when we're registering this into the universe and cementing it into people's unconscious, is that it's about advancing and furthering the development of the homosexual future. And having on our film crew equipment, editing tools, you can get your free pizza, your free weed, your $20 rebate. When you mail something in, you can get a little voucher for your gas, your fuel, parking, validation. You're going to be very accommodated once you join Social Alchemy Project Access Management and enjoy some of the things that we offer. Now, this being stated, we're going on 20 minutes of a video right now, and I don't think I really need to say anything more. I think we covered some of the bases of the topic that I wanted to cover. I am here because we're thriving and we all have a parallel inquiry of LGBT. What can we do better? What I would say is we should ask, what can we do that's still right for us as justice, as fairness? Okay? Whether it's political or not, how do we take care of our people? Where do we go after decades of declaring that we have rights? Why are we hating ourselves? Why are we doing staple drugs like methamphetamine, slamming? Why are we doing the sex trafficking? Why aren't we standing up to the predators and perpetrator pedos in a perpetrator society, a pornographic society? What is happening in order for us to thrive? What is happening to us in light of the American apple pie that's never going to be baked again, because anything having to do with an apple pie, your American dream, is a myth. The American culture has changed. It is the era where Alex Jones was thriving for many years, and he was shut off because he started talking crap about the government. Talking about conspiracy of the government when all the shootings were happening in theaters and high schools and elementary schools and weird things like that. Now, nothing is private. I mean, I have everybody all over the world watching me. And I am making myself available to people for a socio-spirituality in the race to nowhere. We're all getting where we're going, and we all need to stop hating one another in society. One of the prophecies is from out of Social Alchemy Project, which we have prophecy all the time because we have our New World Christ Church and our global missionary efforts and things like this, is that the people that you see in the course of your day, you are going to be seeing them again when you cross over and when you die and you go to homecoming. So we want people to be ready to face their own karma. We're not here to put the karma police on you. We're not here to put handcuffs on your eyes. We're here to raise that level of consciousness and to foster and to build futures of the homosexual man. And not give them a soft hit and an easy pat, go on your merry way by saying, oh, we love the LGBT. They're the LGBT. No. They are homosexual men, and people are still scared to say homosexual. Whoever's listening on the other side, I want you to say with me, homosexual. Say it. Hear yourself say it out loud. Homosexual. Okay, Jesus did not blow you up. Okay? Homosexual. This is not a naughty word of profanity. You are legally able to sit there at an interview and use the word in whatever context you want. Homosexual this, homosexually that. If you're not threatening somebody or defaming somebody's reputation. And not get written up. But why are people still afraid? People are running around, oh, LGBT this, LGBT that. Oh, love the LGBT. Oh, I know so many good LGBT people. People, it's post-LGBT. It's post-gay. Okay? And you're left with what? The homosexual man that still has an independent work to do for himself. And that's where Social Alchemy Project Access Management is laying down a very important work. With a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces. So in the multi-platform professional digital media kit, that's very noteworthy, we cover things like public administration, criminal justice professional work, Tyler Lord Hamilton, community organizer, Governor Tyler Lord Hamilton for mayor, city council. We have the whole public administrator through the lens of what you've created with the film works of mental illness, social justice filming, and then how that creates celebrity, and then that creates leadership role, and I'm willing to take the bullet for you. If you don't know about Harvey Milk's assassination, look him up, and I am your Harvey Milk. I love you, and I just really wish that together we all could stand up and say, selfishness does not exist. Neither does selflessness. You are here with the divine mind, the divine body, the divine physical, and the divine spirit, and the divine soul and heart, to be of self, to give of self, and to accept from others that build yourself up and let you experience the pain and suffering that others have, that you can understand by engagement. Unite to ignite. Not being isolationist, not being separatist, but keeping our nose in our own business as Americans should, and helping in the globalization of the democratic spirit for the homosexual man, and saying that as men we are allowed to love and be loved by same gender, of age, and respected adults. And the whole thing about saying, oh, they're LGBT, oh, we accept them, we don't want to hear about it. No, people don't want to hear the word homosexual. They're fine with LGBT rhetoric, trust me. I want you men to come forward at Social Alchemy Project and with us, holding hands in an embrace, in a fictive kin, in a global human family of bipartisan, and say, we are here to foster and build the consciousness and raise the level of dignity through democracy and justice studies for the homosexual male. That has to be pivotal in all of our lives, instead of just blaming it on LGBT and putting gay men with the whole transgender and lesbians. The gay man still has a very important work to lay down, because it's all getting credit for the LGBT, and it's the gay homosexual man that made anything the way it is right now for public policy. So let's give that some thought, and let's open dialogue with people in the political participation that we are allowed to have, and we don't have to be shamed. I love you, I love you, I love you. Now, continue with your parallel inquiries that I am making. Let's start an amazing work in Los Angeles through the whole mental illness, social justice filming. I'm just tired of being thrown under the bus with other people, and I am ready for us to stand together and say that we are allowed to live our dreams and live our bliss and not be told by Christians that we're being selfish. We're living to the potential of our talents that God has given us. People, please be empowered and live your bliss and do good to your society and bring society forward to becoming more transparent in a translucent social psychology. I lecture about this at USC. I love you.